Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, and it is Halloween night. I just got done trick-or-treating with my kiddos and my husband, and it was so much fun. And now they are all asleep, so it is time for me to do my thing. For today's pick a card topic, we are going to be taking a look at what's going to happen if you finally let them know how you really feel. We're going to be taking a look at how they feel about you, and should you even tell them? and if you do, what are things going to look like after that? Really quick before I forget, I have been uploading, I have just like two of these true crime tarot videos that I'm doing. I'm definitely going to be putting out a lot more. I have a lot of plans for that. However, I would absolutely love to hear from you all if there's any particular cases you want to hear about, anything that you guys want, please tell me. Yeah, okay, let's get into the video. Before we get started, let's go ahead and cleanse our decks, our space, our minds, and set intentions to receive the most accurate reading that we can today with everybody's highest good in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and get into today's topic, which is going to be what will happen next when you finally let them know how you really feel. So, we're going to be touching on how they feel about you and then what life is going to look like, what the next steps would be if you decide to let them know how you really feel. Is it reciprocated? Is it maybe not the best idea to let them know because this is just a friendship situation and this is something that you need to move past? Or is this just truly meant to be, but you are both hiding it from each other? So that's what we are going to be finding out today, is what's going to be happening next when you tell them. So here we have piles 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what you're going to do is use your intuition to figure out which of these piles has the correct message for you. There's going to be one that just draws your eyes naturally more to it, and that's going to be the one for you. Now, I'm also going to put some crystals on top if that helps your intuition. So here for pile number 1, we're going to have some smoky quartz. Oh, don't roll away. Okay. Here for pile 2, we have some star star mica. Oh no, one of those. Okay, pile 3, we have some howlite. And pile 4, we have some clear quartz. Okay, so feel free to pause the video and take a moment if you need to figure out which one of these piles is really calling to you. There's also timestamps in the description and the comments below. That way, whenever you figure out which one is for you, you can just go ahead and skip right over to your reading. Okay, group number 1, this is going to be your reading, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing that I'm going to take a look at are just the current energies that you hold and that this other person holds. Let's start here. Okay, so we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So this card is going to be representative on the you side of things. And the Pentacles can sometimes represent like money, but obviously in this case, it does not represent money. So it can also represent like our material items or just like the physical things in our life. And the Six of Pentacles being in reverse is indicative of like being in a place of no longer really like needing anything from anybody else. So I do feel that you are maybe quite an independent person normally. We also have the Wheel of Fortune coming up for you. So I see that this is maybe a little bit different than your norm. This is like the changing of a pattern, or of like a feeling or something like that that you may have been experiencing. So maybe this feeling towards this person, maybe you don't usually like catch feelings for people, or maybe this is just entirely new that you're starting to feel this way about this person. But either way, it's like the end of one cycle and the start of a new one. So that those are the energies that I'm kind of picking up on you right now. And then this is going to be for that person. So here we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Page of Swords, both in the reverse position. Okay, let me figure out where I'm putting this. Right here. Okay, so Interesting. Okay, so the ace and the pages are always like slightly similar. And here we have the Pentacles card and the swords, like the Pentacles suite and the sword suite. Okay. And so what makes them a little bit similar is that they both talk about the potential of like opportunities and like new beginnings. Here with the Pentacles, this could be like there is a potential new beginning of some type of like building a foundation, which that could make sense for like some type of relationship, because when you get in a relationship, that really starts to be like the center of what you kind of base everything around, like what you're doing, and I don't know, like your plans, whatever. And when these are in the reverse position, this can indicate that like that opportunity is there. However, there is some kind of block in the way of either being able to see it or being able to believe that it is a possibility, for yourself. So I think that, oh, and like getting into the swords, this talks about like the way that we think. Swords also connects with like our processing, our logical thinking, all of that. So, not on an emotional side of things, but just how we think. And so with this being in the reverse, this shows me that there's maybe some like perspective that he needs to shift, something that he's just again not quite seeing. I think it's just they don't realize that this is a possibility for them. And when I say this, I don't necessarily mean like a relationship with you. We haven't gotten there in the reading yet. What I'm meaning is like maybe something different than what they have now. They don't feel like there is um like or they just don't know how it would be different. Like they can't understand the journey. They don't know what the journey would look like. So it's putting a block on being able to see that full end goal. But I do feel like that's just their kind of current energies right now, is maybe they're feeling just a little bit stuck or just a little bit unsure of where things are headed. Now let's see about the energy between you both. Okay, here we have the Five of Wands. Interesting. So this card is conflict. Now, it can be a little bit of like friendly banter, like nothing, like this is nothing like crazy. This is not like fighting or anything, but this could be a little bit of back and forth. Maybe you two don't see eye to eye on some things, or maybe there's just a situation that, okay, I feel like this is getting kind of specific. So definitely let me know if this makes no sense or if it does make sense. But again, this is a general reading, so take it as it resonates for you. But what I'm going to say is, I feel like maybe the person that you are having feelings for is feeling a little bit stuck and they don't quite know how to get out of the situation. And you are over here feeling like, okay, it's time to end old cycles, like get like change the way that you have been living, change what you have in your current life, and that things are just going to get much better for you. And they are kind of over here like, yeah, but I just don't really see how. And I feel like maybe that's causing a little bit of conflict in the mix, because you're over here like, I see your opportunity. I see that things can be different for you, and they are just kind of unsure. So that could be the conflict there. This can also just represent like kind of friendly, like banter going back and forth at each other, that sort of thing. This is not as like super serious, like fighting energy that I'm getting right now. So interesting. Okay, so let's take a look and see now, a card that represents your feelings towards them. And then we'll do the same backwards. Okay. So we have the Four of Wands. So this shows that like you could maybe even see yourself or like dream of this, like settling down with this person, maybe having a family. Like this represents a celebration, a ceremony, even a wedding. Like, not to be super extra right now. I know we're talking about a crush, but um this just really is like harmony and family and like celebration and home and everything. So that would be like starting a whole foundation over with this person. Okay, now let's get one for them to indicate how they are feeling towards you. Okay, so we have this one was kind of wanting to come out too, so I'll pull this also. So we have the Eight of Pentacles here. So this is like working towards something. Um, this can talk about like practicing something, skill development, really working towards something. Maybe, okay, let's look at this one. Oh, we have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so this one also talks about family and abundance and just wealth and happiness and all of that, right? Okay, interesting. However, there is the Eight of Pentacles here too. So this could mean that maybe they feel like they are just having to work a little bit harder to get to that point of just fully like trusting and believing and understanding. Like there's a lot of work they're doing. Maybe it's work on themselves. Maybe it's work on steps to get out of the current situation that they are in so they can feel like they can maybe commit to something else. But whatever it is, they are working really hard towards something, some type of development. And that will lead in their mind, is what I'm, kind of picking up on, is that, they're thinking that that would make it easier to achieve this like harmony and family and abundance. That's so interesting. Like these two cards super touch on like family and home. So this is showing me that they perhaps, do kind of have these deeper feelings for you where you guys could kind of cultivate this new foundation and this like, I don't know, just something really awesome for each other. But I think they just are feeling a little bit stuck in something. Okay, now let's see. I know we have a little gap here. I'll put this right here. Okay, so not that it matters, but let's see. And if you if you go to them and really tell them how you feel and what needs to happen, what is going to happen next? Okay, we have the Six of Swords. So that's embarking on a new journey. That's like forward movement. And again, it's the swords. So it's like a shift in perspective and mindset. So I feel like you opening up to them and really letting them know how you feel, that like, hey, I really think that things could be so different and so wonderful for you if you just take this step or just make this change. Like I feel like it's kind of something like that. Like it's like, hey, like we could literally be together, or we could, start working towards the things we want to do. Whatever it is, if you just like listen to me. I'm kind of getting that energy here. And I feel like maybe that's going to make some type of light bulb go off where maybe they're like, okay, I'm really not happy in the situation that I'm in. Maybe they are super overworked in their job and it's making them feel like they can't focus on anything else. They're really overwhelmed and they're just like kind of stuck in it because they feel like they can't leave it. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's something like past traumas and, struggles with mental health that is causing them to feel like, I just don't know if I can like really commit to something. I feel like maybe, because of my struggles, I don't want to make somebody else struggle. When in reality, perhaps you are like, I understand people have struggles. Maybe I even have struggles myself too, but that doesn't mean you have to go through them alone. It could be that type of dynamic. So that's kind of what I'm picking up on here, is like some big heart to heart conversation saying, like, I am here for you, even when things are not as easy peasy and beautiful as, you know, we would like them to be. But that's the reality of relationships and even friendships and just like being there for people, is that it's not always going to be easy and super, nice and butterflies. And then we have the Page of Wands in the reverse. So again, this is about like seeing the potential in things. The wands have to deal with our actions and like our morals and stuff and how they're kind of aligning, right? And the Page of Wands is about like new opportunity and potential, but again, it's reversed. So there's still just that kind of like block of being able to really see it. And I do feel like this is on the them side. So I don't know if this is something that they're just really going to need to work on to overcome. Let's kind of see um, what else is to come from this, because I am picking up on the fact that they do feel this way about you, but I just think they're maybe like a little stuck in their head right now. Okay, here we have the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. So this is showing me that Okay, the Nine of Pentacles is about abundance and like really enjoying it. And then the Queen of Cups is being in a place of emotional stability. Um, so, emotional stability and like empathy, and also just feeling more in control of your emotions. And that's kind of like this card always just gives me major like peace vibes. Like she is at peace with her emotions and she understands them. So what this is showing me is that, there is going to be this kind of like ding, like little light bulb going off, this wake up, and it's going to start down this new journey. And there's still going to be these blocks that they are going to have to face. But I think because of the conversation that would come from this, um, it would lead to being able to actually enjoy the abundance and like the happiness and everything that both of you have maybe been really wanting but not quite sure how you can have it. So this is just like really getting to enjoy that. And not only that, but maybe this will bring that person or yourself to kind of like face some emotions and just some other things like that have maybe been holding them up, putting them on a block, that sort of thing. And make that possible to be like confronted, but in a very vulnerable and safe way, and allow for some emotional healing. So that is what else I'm kind of seeing. Okay, let's just do a few more cards here and see if we get anything else. This one here. Okay, we have the Two of Cups in reverse. So the Two of Cups touches on relationships, and however, when it's in the reverse, this can either indicate that there is like a mismatch, a disharmony in a relationship dynamic. However, this can also touch on self-love. Okay, and then we have the Three of Wands in the reverse. So that's like a lack of future direction. Okay, so oh, and then for the last card here, we have the Devil card in reverse. So this is like releasing things that no longer serve you. Okay, so what I am getting from all of this is that this is going to be a productive conversation in a sense that it's going to bring up emotions and things and just allow space for some vulnerability that really needs to happen and can allow for some like healing and some forward movement and shifting of mindset. However, I do really feel that there needs to be a lot more like a big focus on self love. And because of like the lack of maybe attention that that self-love and self-care, self-empathy is getting, while you are coming to a place of recognition of that, I really do think that that's going to end up being the focus of this. Is that you know what you guys both want. You maybe even dabble in it a little bit. Maybe you try dating, maybe you don't try dating, but you talk about it and you're able to just like I said, like enjoy that bit of like happiness and abundance and like abundance and joy, right? Not like necessarily money or anything. It could be, but I'm really feeling like just the abundance and like feeling a little bit more like, okay, things can be okay. You know what I mean? And getting to a place of a little bit more emotional stability. However, I do see self love is really going to play a huge, huge part in this. And because, like I said, there is that like lack of attention to detail that's been causing um, a little bit of a block on that like long term view and kind of knowing what's going to happen next. And the Devil card calls you to release the things that no longer serve you. So this is, can you hear that? That's my husband snoring. Okay. So this is gonna call you to release the things that no longer serve you. So this can be like the Devil card talks about either addictions or obsessions, procrastination, basically things that can kind of like hold us down and not allow progress forward. And this can even be like an addiction to negative self-talk. Of course, it's not like an actual addiction, but it's a pattern, it's a cycle. And when our mind and body are so used to that, it's really hard to break out of that. And that's just our norm. So I'm seeing that This is going to be a very productive conversation, and it is going to start pushing you both in the right direction. And I think it's going to lead to a journey of a lot of self healing and not really knowing what to expect from the future. And I think that's okay. And I think that's a part of this healing journey and a part of this experience that you both will face just because, like, it's okay to not know what's going to happen next. It's going to really force you both to be more in the present moment and get more in touch with your overall emotions that you are feeling and allow you space to heal them. And then who knows the full potential that you both have individually and potentially together after that healing is done. So let's go ahead and do some oracle cards and just see what else we get for this reading. A time for healing. So, pretty straightforward. I do think some of this healing will be done individually, like alone, and I do think some of it will kind of happen together because you are opening this space for like vulnerability and communication. Believe in the impossible. Okay, so something that I'm hearing right now is patience. So in order to believe in the impossible means that you have to be okay with things kind of being stagnant and not really moving forward or not being able to really see the future. That's how you kind of believe in the impossible because you don't have the exact plan. Bring love into the situation. Okay, so that is also kind of straightforward, but I'm going to explain it from this standpoint that like bringing love into the situation in the form of like empathy towards the other person with whatever it is that they are trying to heal from and cope from, and also empathy towards yourself when you have some hard emotions or maybe don't understand why you process something the way you do, or even if something like them having a genuine emotion like kind of triggers you or like is frustrating, like have empathy with yourself towards that. You're allowed to feel how you feel, but it just matters how you respond. Okay. And then we have you're very close to achieving your goal. So I do think this is going to be a helpful, productive conversation in bringing you two closer together in some form or another. Okay, let's go ahead and do some more oracle cards. Sorry, I feel like everything's all messed up. Okay. Um, let's see, what else do we have? Empathy again. Well, again, because that's what I was saying. So yeah, having a lot of empathy and patience for yourself and this other person. And then cognizance. So be really mindful of the way that you are speaking to yourself and speaking to this other person, because that's going to be super huge. The way that you speak to yourself is what like becomes your inner voice. It starts to program your mind to really believe what you say. So it's very important. And then conviction. So stand really firm in the goals that you have for yourself. Um, and don't allow yourself to believe that you're not capable of it and not to stray away from it. Because as soon as you stop believing in what it is that you want and stop believing in yourself, then it's so easy to lose the motivation to keep working towards that. And then that causes you to kind of fall back and lose a little bit of progress, and you just get stuck in those old patterns. So stand really strong on what it is that you know that you want. And I think that that discipline is going to be really, really helpful. Here we have mystery. Okay, so with the mystery card, this means that something is going to come about this that you maybe didn't even realize would come from this. And also the mystery card touches on like getting in touch with your intuition a little bit more. So I think through this healing journey and through like having this vulnerable space to connect, I think that's going to open some space in your mind to not be so worried and overthink so much. And that's going to really clear your mind and allow for more clarity and more deeper connection with your intuition, even. And there's just going to be something that you're learning, like about yourself, even, or maybe about this other person that you just didn't even realize. And then here we have play. So this is a good reminder to kind of let your inner child out. Ooh, also heal that inner child. That is going to be really key. Healing the inner child and kind of like, yeah, just being really empathetic and being that safe space that maybe either one of you perhaps didn't have that you really needed. And I think that's going to be really helpful. But also just don't take life and don't take things too seriously, and allow joy and silliness throughout this situation. And here we have hunt. So, along with conviction, like stay super focused on your goal. And again, don't allow yourself to stray away from it. Like, hunt that down, have that discipline and that huge desire to just want to keep going for your goals. And then here we have death. So, this is a card of transformation, new beginnings, shifting mindset. So, in order to die, or I mean, in order to, oh my God, in order to become a new you, the old self has to die. Okay, nobody is dying here, but in a analogy way, your old self is going to have a death, and maybe even the old self of this other person. Okay, so think about like the caterpillar. It has to turn into a yucky, ooey goo before it turns into that beautiful butterfly. So kind of think about that in this situation. Like in order to heal and to really enjoy that abundance and that lifestyle just full of love and kind of like calmness, you really have to dive into the gooey, mushy, yucky parts of your brain and your thought process and your traumas and everything to get there. So that is happening. And then we also have adaptation. So just kind of let go of control. I know that's easier said than done, but let go of control and allow yourself to just kind of like adapt to the situation. Like if something's a little bit harder than you anticipated, be okay with that and allow yourself to just go with the motions, go with the flow to kind of keep adjusting. And the more you can let go, the more free and easier this will feel for you. Okay, so that is going to be your reading group number one. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know down in the comments below what you thought about it, how this resonates for you. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye. Okay, group number two, this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and get into it. So, the first things that I'm going to touch on are just the current energies that you're holding and that they are holding, and then the energy between you both. Okay, so here we have the Eight of Cups in reverse. Okay, so this is like trying something again, going back to something. And then here we have the Six of Pentacles in the upright position. So, I feel like you are trying to give love or like having feelings for somebody a chance again. I feel like maybe you have not done that recently. Maybe you have kind of had some walls up. You've kind of been more independent, more to yourself, wanting to really stay to yourself. And the Six of Pentacles represents that you want more of a balance in that. You want more of like a give and take. You don't want to be always having to be literally everything for yourself. Nobody should have to be everything for themselves. Sometimes we need other people to lean on. Sometimes we want to feel safe and we want to feel love. And it can get a little isolating and lonely when you are your only person for every single need that needs to be met. So I feel like you're kind of giving this a chance again, like allowing yourself to have these feelings and allowing yourself to even think about telling them. Like, clearly, you are thinking about that if you're watching this video. So, I feel like you're kind of giving that a shot again. And you're just wanting some more balance in your life. Like, he has a little balance here. So, I think you're definitely just wanting more of an equal balance of like a give and take in your life, just so you can feel some more security and companionship. So let's go ahead and just get the overall energies of them. Here we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And what else do we have? Whoa. Oh, goodness. I'm a Tower card. Okay. So now, what I am getting here is that this other person is kind of going through it. So the Wheel of Fortune is like being stuck in negative cycles and old patterns. And the Tower card represents like a whole crumbling of their foundation. Like, I mean, they're getting struck by lightning, they're jumping out of the building, everything's on fire. Like, this is generally a card of chaos. However, the good thing about this is that after the tower comes the star. And although I didn't pull that, I just feel like it's important to say this. In the like timeline of tarot, after the tower comes the star, and that's representative of like a kind of like starting over, like a rebirth, a new beginning, not necessarily a rebirth, but just like a new beginning and self-trust and faith. And it's just like a refresh, a very like cleansing refresh start. Okay. But right now, yeah, there's definitely some issues, some worry, and something is not working out and going well for this person. So that is just the current energies that I'm picking up on them. I feel like maybe they're stuck in some old patterns. They haven't quite necessarily learned the lesson for it yet. Oh my gosh, look at that. I wish I was talking about this. Okay, maybe they haven't quite learned the lesson that they need to, and that's why they are stuck in this same pattern here, and that's causing this tower moment. Okay, so we have the star card for the energy between you both. So I think you two connecting and coming together may be able to kind of allow this balance back into your life, because now you're not only pouring into yourself, maybe there's going to be somebody else that you feel like you can pour into a little bit. And it feels really nice to be able to like do something for somebody that you care about if you know that it's helping them kind of feel a little bit better. Also, with that being the energy between you, they are going to feel this star energy of like this is such a fresh start. Like, this feels really good. This is so new. And I have a lot more like trust and faith in the direction that things are going. And I think that's, similar energy that you will be feeling as well. Now, here we have the Six of Swords reverse and the Hierophant. So the Six of Swords reversed can signify that there's maybe like a delay or like just the lack of that forward movement that would be happening here. Now, this is kind of touching up on like how you guys are also feeling right now. Sorry, that took me like 5 years to spit out. This is also touching on how you guys are feeling. So there's this like, there's a hesitation there with you to make this step forward and to, I think, actually communicating this and like making this statement. And then here with the Hierophant, I feel like they are just, they're just in need of some like guidance. The Hierophant is about like learning and like taking a step in the right direction to kind of like elevate and better yourself. This can also be like sticking true to tradition. So I feel like maybe they're just in a place of feeling like they have to do what they are doing because it's what they're supposed to, like by society standards. I hope that made sense. Okay, I know these are general readings. So, and I know you know that, but I'm making sure to say this right now because something just came in my brain that I feel like I have to say, but it's definitely not going to apply to everybody. So, another thing as to why I feel this person is having this tower moment, stuck in a negative cycle, and they feel like they're stuck in tradition is, again, for some of you, I think this may be some like some type of, oh my gosh, why is the word escaping me right now? Oh, queer. Okay. I'm like, why can't I think of the word? This may be a queer relationship, and this person may not be ready, or they just haven't um, presented themselves in that way. Maybe you know this. Um, but maybe to their family, maybe they feel like they're stuck in a societal norm because that's what they have to do, because they're fearful of saying goodbye to the past, and they're staying stuck in that cycle, and that's what's causing this tower moment. Maybe that's even why there's this hesitation to like really move forward with this, because that they're so stuck in this position. And that would also make sense with, you know, you both coming together and talking about your feelings. And if you're feeling the same way, which we'll get into here in a little bit, that this would bring the star energy of just such a fresh restart because they're finally going to be living their truth and you're going to be happy because you are in the relationship with the person that you like. So that is something that I'm picking up on here. If that is not your situation, then this could also apply to just, again, having to feel like they're stuck in some type of societal expectation, whether that be with like, or this could be family expectation. So whether that be dating a different race. Maybe that could be dating a different religion than their family or than themselves. And unfortunately, sometimes people still have those really old fashioned belief systems that shouldn't be done. And that is really heartbreaking. And of course, that can cause some like inner turmoil and struggle towards moving in a direction that feels more authentic. So it's something along those lines that is making them feel really, really stuck that would cause just more peace and happiness with you. So let's go ahead and take at exactly how, like, just some cards to kind of represent more how you are feeling about them. Okay. So you feel like this is meant to be, like this is your calling. You really like them. That is cute. And then we have the Three of Cups, so a celebration. You also, I think this person has also been a friend to you. So this would be like a celebration, just kind of already feeling like you have that connection to them. And then we also have the Sun card. So you feel like you can be your authentic self with this person, and this person brings a lot of joy out in you. And this is just a really light, happy, bright card. Um, all right, so now let's get into how they feel about you. Okay, so here we have the Chariot, but in the reverse. So this can indicate again that like kind of hesitation of forward movement, a delay. And I feel like, the only reason there would be a delay in that forward movement is because again, they're not like kind of sticking to their true selves, or maybe they're just too nervous to like accept this feeling and move forward on it. We have the Ten of Wands in the reverse. So in the upright, this is like overwhelmed, overworked, burnt out. And in the reverse, that's like recovery from that. The tens represent the ending of a cycle. So even though this is like really hard and burnout and perseverance, it is the ending of it. But in the reverse, it's like you can finally let that go, and you cannot be so like overwhelmed. And I feel like that comes from not putting up this facade anymore because they could just be themselves. I really feel like they feel safe to just be themselves around you. Um, so that is really sweet. And I feel like also too, just with how this setup kind of happened, like I really feel like this Sun card is just here smack dab, like it's in the middle of everything, So I'm really feeling that this Sun card is also connecting with them and how they are feeling towards you. And again, it just lines up so perfectly with the Star card here. So now that we have the overall feelings out of the way, let's go ahead and get into what to look at if you tell them this, if you really confront them and you're like, hey, I really feel this way about you. Okay, so we have the Three of Wands in reverse. So this shows that there's going to be a little bit of uncertainty in the direction that things are headed, or quite actually, no, this is how you are both like currently feeling, or where you have been. It's just this like lack of foresight of where things are going. However, talking about this, the Queen of Cups, that is going to bring up some opportunity to be more vulnerable and just some like emotional calmness. Whenever I get this card, for some reason, calm, it just really stands out to me, that word. So I feel like this is going to be able to bring you to a place of just more peace and like emotional stability to be able to talk about these things. And then we have the Empress in the reverse position. So I do see that again, what I was just saying, that empathy, that like nurturing aspect, that's just really needed in this. So I do think that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. It's just trying to have some like patience and empathy and just that extra like nurturing element to this, because I do think this is going to be a little bit of a difficult like transition or like change or whatever it may be for this other person and even yourself, because you're finally letting your walls down a little bit. It's going to be a little bit easy to kind of put those walls back up sometimes just because that's what you're used to. And then with the other person involved here, I think it's just going to be a little challenging for them to have that like empathy towards themselves and that like just that self acceptance, if that makes sense. So, overall, I feel like this is going to be an extremely productive conversation because it's going to bring the opportunity for vulnerability and empathy and love. And clearly, you both here have these feelings towards each other. There's something in the way, there's something blocking it, and there just really needs to be like a moment of a moment of like confrontation, but not in like a negative way, but like in a let's finally give you and each other the space to talk about this and to open up and just kind of see what happens. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into some oracle cards. Here we have transition. So this would be a big change for you and for them. And the transition is also connected to the moon card. The moon in tarot can represent like fears, and like anxieties and stuff like that. So I think this is going to be like a time of facing fears and just potential worries and allowing yourself to let go of all of that in transition. Oh, and then we have alignment. So I do think this is the right direction that you need to head, is talking to them about this and just allowing a non-judgmental space for vulnerability. And I really think it's going to be fantastic for both of you. Initiation. So this right here is telling you to go for it and start the conversation. Okay, let's do one more of this one. Oh, okay. And then we have introspection. So this is going to be looking more at your own mind, at yourself, at your expectations of yourself, your expectations of this other person. Just really taking a deep dive at like kind of your subconscious mind and how it believes in yourself and your life and them and everything like that, and just really like really take some time to understand that. And I think that's going to also help you approach every situation that comes from this in a really kind, understanding, empathetic way. Okay, let's dive into our next deck. What do you need to release? I believe with this reading, this is the releasing that like oh, what is the word? Almost like, okay, scarcity is not the word, but that's what's coming into my brain. Like releasing the fear of like perception, releasing the fear of like what ifs. I guess the reason scarcity came to my mind is it's almost like the worry that you're not going to have any bit of like peace or like moments of worry, like you're almost so worried about losing any bit of like comfort in knowing that other people perceive you a certain way, and this could go for you or them, that that's what you need to release. Like that's the scarcity of it, is like you don't feel like there's, or they don't feel like there's enough happiness on the other side of being your authentic self. So I think just really releasing that fear and that worry of everything that you're constantly or currently constantly what currently thinking about, or what they're currently thinking about, because that's just going to keep you in that same pattern. And then here we have a time for healing. So healing, like I feel like that's pretty straightforward. This is a time for healing and just being more true to yourself, more authentic to yourself. Oh, also the sun card, I don't know if I said this, the sun card is a card of authenticity. So I do see you both coming together and just feeling more true to yourselves. Balance spirituality and practicality. So when this one comes up, this is a really good reminder to, if you're into this, take some time to meditate, like, or just quiet your mind, journal, get your thoughts out, and just allow your mind to just be open and receptive to anything, any thoughts that flows through it, and just let it flow out and just be in the present moment. And then the other part of that is figuring out how you can take whatever it is that you gather from your present moment times, like meditating or whatever it may be. If there's something that you come to recognize or some type of feeling that you're like, wow, this feels maybe really peaceful and I like that, then the practicality part comes in, and you figure out, how can I be more intentional about what it is that I'm doing in my day to day, so I can kind of harness this energy a little bit more of just feeling more at peace and more content and more in control of whatever's going on in my life. Let's get into our last deck of cards here. Cunning. Okay, so I feel like maybe something else that is going to be a little bit challenging, and this can happen when we have had walls up for a while, is sometimes there can be a little bit of like an attitude, for lack of better words, or it could be like maybe you're just quick to assume like a disingenuine from comments or words, just kind of like yeah, you really do care and you are understanding, but there's like maybe a part of you that's just kind of fast to be like, I like quick-witted. um and sometimes that's fine, but sometimes there's not the place for that. So that's just something that's kind of coming up that I feel like needs to be a little bit mindful of. And then here we have hunt. So the hunt card is just staying really dedicated and disciplined on what it is that your end goal is, so you can stay on it. Um, like keeping it in mind and not allowing yourself to again believe that you're not capable of that, because that's what will set you back. And then here we have care. So I do feel like, oh look, okay, sorry, that just really stood out to me, the little pattern. Um, okay, so what was I saying? Um, Okay, yeah, here we have care. And so it's going to be really important that not only are you starting to care for yourself and care for your mind, but you're kind of having that balance there. Like that's what this imagery shows to me. I know this is Pisces and I know this is like Cancer, I think. However, it's still that like similar little imagery that kind of just shows like balance and all of that. So not only are you going to be bringing in care for yourself, but you're also going to be able to start caring for somebody else. And that in return is going to be healing for you. And then here we have transform. I think we also had transition over here. Yeah. So transform again, this is going to be a big transformation. And you're transforming away, and they are transforming away from fear. So I feel like um, living living a life of fear, when you have walls up, it's because you're fearful of being hurt again. When you're not living authentically to yourself, it's because there's some sort of fear of judgment or what others may think. So, listen to your instinct. What feels right at your core and your heart, not what you feel like you should be doing. So, you're going to be transforming and releasing that fear and listening to your instinct. And this is on both sides. And then lastly, we have believe. So believe in your goals and yourself in them, believe in the process. Make sure you're having patience during this time and just really like going with the flow. I do think this is going to be a productive conversation and you should go for it. Really trust in yourself and just know that everything, no matter what, will put you down the right path and the right direction for you to continue on towards your goals. So, with that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this reading, group number 2. Please let me know down in the comments below what you thought. I can't wait to hear what you all have to say, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, group number 3, this is going to be your reading, so let's go ahead and get into it. So, the first things that we're going to take a look at are your current energies, their current energies, and then the energy between you both. So first we have you. This is the 3 of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles represents collaboration and like working towards something, working on something. So I feel like maybe you are pretty social, and I feel like maybe this person is somebody that's already a friend of yours, somebody that you've like already kind of been and just really getting to know. And then we have the Two of Cups in reverse. So I do feel that maybe there has been some situations in the past, whether it be with like friends or past relationships or just like past family, some type of like other people that have maybe let you down a little bit, and that has caused you to maybe not feel quite aligned or quite sure of like what am I trying to say? Like love or relationships, whether that be like with yourself. I do feel like there's maybe a little bit of a disconnect in that with yourself, but also there being a disconnect with that and like not being sure on if you want to or how to really find that like genuine connection with somebody else. Now, here we have the Six of Swords in the reverse position. And let's see here. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to figure out. There we go. I spent way too much time doing that. Okay, so here we have the Six of Swords in the reverse position. So this shows that there's a little bit of a hesitation or a delay on some type of like forward movement, maybe like a shift in mindset, a shift in perspective. The swords have to do with our thinking, like our thought processing and everything. And yeah, there's just not forward movement on that. Um, Here we have the Nine of Wands. So this person that you have in mind, they feel very overwhelmed and like they have been working really hard at something. However, this is a card of perseverance, so it's not necessarily feeling like they're going to give up or anything like that. Like they are working really hard and they are really really pushing through. And I feel like this is really taking over a lot of, or not taking over, but like taking up a lot of space in their mind and their heart because they're really focused on this. Maybe they work really hard. Maybe they work quite a bit, or they just have something going on in their life that they're just really trying to build on and work towards. Maybe they're in school. Maybe they're just super busy with school, like something like that. And I feel like that's kind of caused just any delay or forward movement um, towards anything else in their life. Like I just feel like they're really preoccupied with whatever it is that they have going on. Okay, let's go ahead and get a card for the energy between you both. Okay, so here we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. So maybe this is a topic of conversation that's already like kind of came about, is the fact that they're like always so busy and always working all the time and always yeah, just always kind of like maybe they're not emotionally available. Is this, are you already kind of talking to this person or already in a little bit of a relationship with this person? Because you can have a crush on somebody and still be kind of talking to them and need to tell them how you really feel, which is I feel like we don't have enough time commitment for each other. There's something like that's just not connecting on an emotional level. Like emotional needs are not being met. And this card represents the energy between you both. So you both have either already kind of been talking, maybe this is like a little bit of a situationship that's turning into developing feelings. Maybe you are really good friends and you haven't even talked about how you care about them on a little bit of a deeper level, and you are just still feeling like, hey, like you are so preoccupied you can't even like be my friend right now, even though you do care a little bit more. Maybe that's why it's hitting a little bit harder. It's one of those. I mean, this is a general reading, so take it how it resonates, but that's what's kind of coming up right now. So okay, let's now let's get the energy towards more so like how do you directly feel towards them. Okay, here we have the Magician. So I do feel like you believe that you can make this work and that you can have what you want out of this relationship. And I think that's why this is a little bit more emotional that you're not having that. Okay, and then we also have the Five of Pentacles, which shows that this is like a lack mindset. Okay, so interesting that we are having these here next to each other. So the Magician card, however, there's a lack of mindset. So I think on more of a, hmm, you know that you have the capabilities to move things in the direction that they need to go. Maybe you need a little bit more patience. Maybe you also just need a little bit more empathy on the situation. However, you do know that things can go in the right direction. And when I say right direction, the direction that you are really wanting them to go, which is just having a little bit more time, a bit of a deeper connection, having your needs met. However, you have this lack mindset about it where there's like not enough empathy that's really coming in. There's not enough empathy and understanding towards this other person in the situation that's causing you to not create this magic, if that makes sense. Um, so that's what I'm picking up on here is like, I think you don't really like believe in them. You believe in yourself, but you don't really believe in them to fully change or commit or be who it is that you need it to be. Be who they are. Wait, to be who it is that you need them to be. Why can I talk? Probably because I'm tired from trick or treating. Okay, now let's see how they really feel about you. Okay, so here we have Page of Swords. So this is like new ideas, new ways of thinking. And then we have the Hanged Man, letting go. So I think this other person really does um, you're on their mind. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. And there may be some new ideas and new potential opportunities that could arise because of this shift in mindset. And with the Hanged Man, this is like a shift in perspective. So letting go, maybe like over here, there was this delay, um, this kind of resistance to embark in a new direction. And that could be shifting more focus towards you or, whatever it may be that they want in their life. However, because this is like the relationship reading, pretty sure it's you. Okay. So, there's some new ideas, a new shift in perspective. Both of these cards are kind of like shifting in a new perspective and just really letting go. So maybe they're going to be letting go of control and trying to kind of, just adapt to things, go with the flow, see how things move. I feel like they're maybe a little bit more relaxed and kind of like slow moving um about you two, and maybe you're in more of a hurry, if that makes sense. That's just kind of what I'm feeling right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what is going to what's going to come up if you talk to them about this. If you let them know how you're really feeling. Okay, King of Pentacles in the reverse. So this can show up, the pentacles can represent money or your materialistic, like physical items or your home life. So the King of Pentacles in reverse shows that maybe there's like, one second. Okay. So y'all have both for different reasons been going through a situation where you're not really feeling like you're super in charge and in control and like the leader of your life. Like there needs to be more organization, more discipline, just more of a focused mind, and one that's not quick to like assume or think the worst or that sort of thing. And with the Eight of Wands, this is like taking action, forward and movement. So this is you talking to them about this. And whatever direction that takes you in is going to take you on a path of more alignment, more authenticity, happiness, and joy. So I feel like coming at this from a place of empathy and patience and understanding, and really taking the time to actually explain your feelings and also give the time for them to have space to explain their feelings and hear it out. I just feel like patience and empathy is really big on this. Um, that is going to lead in a direction of joy and happiness and just feeling more authentic. Maybe it's going to lead to more authentic communication, building more trust between you two. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some oracle cards and see what else we get for this reading. Okay, here we have transcendence. So this is like leveling up, like moving to a higher version of yourself. So I feel like what's going to be coming from this conversation, this interaction, is like developing more of a emotional, mature mindset, not coming from a place of like victim mentality or always expecting the worst, taking things too seriously. Like this is going to be a much more elevated, calm, peaceful um, mindset that you can both kind of step into. Now, whether this be like independently or together, this entire situation is going to like bring that about. Now, here we have Shakti. This card represents like being more silly with things, letting like, think about your inner child. Heal your inner child, be silly, allow yourself not to take things too seriously, allow yourself to like have fun with it. And again, just like recognize that, like, think about it this way: we are literally teeny tiny specks in the universe, okay? Life is not that serious. I know it feels serious and it can get really serious, but like we are literally just little dots in the crazy universe, okay? So try to remember that, and that you are just a beautiful soul having a weird human experience, and it makes it all the much better when you can bring some joy and some silliness into the situation. So I feel like that is really being called for you to bring in right here. And then we have perseverance. So this is definitely some energy of this person that you are crushing on, that perseverance to just keep going and to keep trying to achieve the goals that it is that they want. I feel like they are really hard workers and just have been kind of going through it, and they're just like trying to feel better about life. And also, on your side of things with the perseverance card, I think it's key that you persevere and keep up that empathy and that kindness and that open mind, and that will allow for positive forward movement. Let's do one more card. And then here we have direction. So just like this also means forward movement. Okay, so when you can persevere, that's going to help keep leading you in the proper direction of where things need to go. So, also with direction, it's like keeping your mind really focused on the end goal, where you are now. So, like making sure that you're being more present, try to cut out distractions, and that will allow you to stay on your directed path that you are really trying to go down way easier with a lot less wrong turns if you can just try and be as present as you possibly can. Okay, let's go ahead and do some more oracle cards. Bring love into the situation. So, again, just kind of having some empathy, some kindness, and patience. I feel like that's going to be super, super helpful here. Emotions are running high. So, try and that like relates a lot to the Queen of Cups being in reverse. Like, emotions are running high. Like, you are really feeling this. Maybe they're even really feeling this. I feel like there's just a lot of unneeded expectations and pressures that have been put on oneself or each other, maybe. So try and yeah, like really try and bring love into it. It's not that serious. It's okay. Um, let's all just take a deep breath and work on constructive, clear, authentic, and empathetic communication. And then here we have the end of a tough cycle approaches. So, this is what happens when you can work on that communication development and kind of allow yourself to recognize that you can do better with some things when it comes to communication and understanding and all of that. And that's just, again, going to bring you to a place of like much more emotional maturity and understanding for the both of you. So let's go ahead and jump into my last deck of cards here, see what else we get. Here we have Death. So this is going to be a much needed transition to go through. It's like the ending of an old self and the embracing of a new one. And then here we have Heal. So I feel like through this, you're going to be healing the parts of you that are so, and them that are so quick to think that the worst is yet to come. And, to not get like too attached to one thing if it seems really good, because just in case it goes away, like, let's not, you know, put ourselves in that situation again. Like, we're going to be letting down those walls, and we're going to be just really embracing a more calm and gentle versions of ourselves. And then here we have Transform. So that's 3 cards that are kind of saying the same thing: transform, death, transcendence. Like, this is a time for change, accountability, healing, um, communication, like just all sorts of stuff that's really going to set you both up for so much success in many different directions in life. And then here we have Family. So again, I just feel like for this reading, like y'all are already a couple or something, or maybe I don't know. I don't know. That's very interesting. Yeah, okay. I feel like you're maybe already a couple, or you're, again, just like really deep friends. Maybe you have been like found family, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes when you get so close to somebody, you're like, oh, like they're like my brother or whatever. But it's like, oh, they're not like my brother. They're like my boyfriend. I know that might sound weird, but you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're friends first and then you realize you like the person. And then here we have Power. So this is going to be helping you step into more of your own power. This is going to be really empowering for you both to be okay with this type of vulnerable communication, and knowing that it doesn't make you any less of a person. In fact, it makes you a really strong, cool, nice person. So, group number 3, I really hope you enjoyed that reading. I can't wait to hear what you have to say down in the comments below. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, group number 4, this is going to be your reading, so let's go ahead and get into it. So what I'm first going to be doing is taking a look at your current energies, their current energies, and then the energy between you both. Okay, so here we have the Devil card for you. So this can indicate kind of holding on to things that no longer are like meant for you. This could be procrastination. This could be an addiction. This could be, hold on. Okay, sorry, my cards were all weird and messed up, but I fixed them now. Okay, so back to what I was saying. First, for you, we have the Devil card. So this can represent that maybe there's something that you're holding on to that you don't really need to be holding on to anymore. This can be like bad habits, um, addictions, like that could even be like a phone addiction, or like maybe an obsession with a certain person, or it could be like kind of procrastination, like not actually putting your energy towards the right things, so the Devil can represent a few things of just holding on to something or being stuck in some type of cycle that doesn't serve us. However, we do have the Ace of Swords. So there is a shift in your mindset. There's some new ideas. Perhaps you are starting to recognize this and you're wanting to change that. For some of you, this may even be a current relationship that you are holding on to, or that you aren't quite sure how to leave, and you are kind of stuck in that. And this is you recognizing that there is so much more for yourself, and you're wanting to move away from this type of stuck lifestyle. So that could be for some of you. For others of you, this could be maybe you just kind of have some bad habits. You've kind of gone down, a path that you weren't exactly wanting to. Um, but you've recognized that there is more out there. Perhaps this other person is not on that path. And there's something about that that you really admire on top of just admiring them as a person. And you kind of have this idea that, like, you could have that as well. So these are general readings. Take it as it resonates. But yeah, those are just some different possibilities for that there. Okay, and for them, this is the Death card. So, a death in tarot is beautiful. It's a much needed change, a transformation towards a better you. So, in order to become a better you, you kind of have to have a death of your old self. Like, think about the caterpillar turning into mushy, ugly goo before he can be a beautiful butterfly. Like, that is usually what has to happen in our own lives as well. Whenever we kind of go through some type of transition, we're usually faced with something that's like, why do I have to realize this right now? And then afterwards, you're like, wow, this is much better. Okay, and then we have the Queen of Wands. So this represents like a really nurturing, kind, balanced energy. So I feel like perhaps, ooh, perhaps this person, you relate to this person in breaking away from something that is no longer serving you, and stopping an old habit, an old pattern, an old lifestyle, whatever that may be. Perhaps this person has already accomplished that. And the Queen of Wands here represents them being in this state of empathy and just calmness, nurturing energy. And, I feel like maybe that's kind of inspiring to you, because you're like, hey, they did it. Like, I want to do that. That would be great. So that is kind of the energy that I'm picking up on there. Now let's go ahead and do another card for the energy between you both right now. Here we have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so the Four of Pentacles represents like holding on to something, keeping it safe. I feel like maybe the relationship that you guys do have right now, I do think it's maybe just a friendship, or maybe it's starting to slowly develop into something more, but it's almost like you want to protect it, and they want to protect it, or they want to protect you, or something like that. Like, so there's something that's like, this is important, and there's like a mutual feeling towards wanting to like keep it sacred and protected. um let's go ahead and do some more cards and just kind of see how you're feeling directly towards them. Okay, and then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So that's kind of being in a place of just like way more structure and control, being in a position of like taking charge and leadership over your life. So I feel like that's something that you deem obtainable with them. Now, here we have the Seven of Cups reversed. So this shows that there's a lot of choices, and perhaps that's choices in talking to them about this, or maybe like, I don't know, letting it go. Like, I don't, it just kind of depends. But there's a lot of choices that you are kind of like having run through your mind, and that's a little bit overwhelming. So you're not exactly what direction to go with that with them. But overall, I am getting that you're just feeling like things could be more like quite more secure. Now let's see how they're directly feeling about you. Two of Wands. Okay, that is thinking about the future planning. There's the world here, and the wands represent our actions and our morals, and like how they align and everything. So I think that this person could see a future with you, and maybe that's why they like do kind of want to protect you and hold on to you. I feel like they understand you, and they recognize the things that you've been through. And there's just a deep connection with that. Here we have the Page of Wands. So this is all about opportunity and potential of what is to come. And with this being on the side of how they feel towards you, is I think they see a lot of potential in you. They really believe in you. And also this heart is standing out to me, and I do think they really care about you. So that's adorable. That is cute. Um, I feel like also for some of you, perhaps you have maybe had like an addiction in the past, or maybe you're currently getting over it, or you're about to be, or something like that. And maybe this person has had a similar addiction and they have already overcome that, and they see that in you, and they kind of want to have this like powerhouse of like, we are badass and we do recover and we are okay and we can like build whatever life it is that we want together. That could be another thing that's also like an energy I'm kind of picking up on here. So let's go ahead and see kind of like what to expect if you were to fully bring up your emotions to them. What would happen if you told them how you feel? Okay, here we have the Fool. So in the reverse. Okay, so this can represent like a hesitation, a forward movement. This can also represent like making too quick of decisions, like almost being impulsiveness. So I think being really mindful of the way you bring up this information is going to be really helpful. Here we have the Page of Pentacles. So this is about opportunity of found foundations and the potential of that. Um, so I do think you bringing this up to them would be a good idea. However, I think the way that you do it is going to be really important here. And I'm just meaning that as in like maybe the words you choose, or the environment you do it in, or maybe even the way that you do it in. Like for some reason, like don't do this over text message. That's popping into my head. But like you know what I mean? Like I feel like maybe make this a little bit more planned out, if that makes sense. Because I feel like this is, a really important, deep thing that you guys understand. And so it needs just a little bit more of like an intentional, like environment, like, hey, I kind of want to talk to you about something. That's the vibes I'm kind of getting. So here we have the Justice card reversed. So, with this being so far in the cards of kind of what to expect once you do let your feelings out, I feel like maybe you're not going to quite get the response that you maybe thought you would. I do believe that this person does have these feelings towards you with all of these cards. However, I feel like maybe they're going to suggest that you have some inner healing, inner work to do, and they're going to be there for you and to support you and everything. But I think maybe they just want to take things super duper slow, whereas maybe you are like, no, I'm kind of ready for this. And that could be something that maybe feels like a little bit of like a thing, like why do we have to wait? That's gonna make you feel like, well, that's kind of dumb. You know what I mean? So that can represent like that feeling of maybe there's a bit of an injustice. It doesn't mean it necessarily is an injustice, but I think that maybe something that you're going to feel, because it's just like, yeah, I hear you and I agree with you, but let's just take it easy. On here we have the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands is celebration. That could even be marriage. That is just coming together, happiness, home, family. So that's a fantastic card for what's to come. Here we have the Two of Pentacles reversed. So I think there's going to need to be a balance. There may be a little bit of a struggle and a balance between like work life, home life, just maybe even getting out the kinks of like the first bits of your relationship going, like that balance of like giving an undivided attention to each other and still, keeping your own separate personal lives. Just something like that to be mindful of. And then here we have the Eight of Cups. So this is allowing yourself to like go back and try something again. And I do feel like this is like you're opening yourself up to a more genuine, kind love, and you're kind of going back and really accepting that. Like the Eight of Cups in the other direction is moving away from something. And yeah, so when it's in the reverse, it's like giving it that second chance, giving yourself that second chance to like this new way of living and presenting yourself and feeling. So you're giving yourself another chance again, and I feel like they're even giving themselves another chance through giving each other a chance. So that is also very cute. Um, Here we have the Four of Swords, selenite. So this is going to bring more peace, more calmness, more rest. Maybe that's something that needs balance, like rest and working really hard on things. But selenite is a recharging stone. It is always like you never have to cleanse it. It itself can cleanse space and crystals. This is my selenite. I love it so much. So yeah, so this is a card of like rest, rejuvenation, relaxing, and just kind of putting, like in the original art, the swords are on the wall and one's under the bed, and the guy is laying down on the bed. And the swords represent our thoughts. So he's literally putting his thoughts on the wall and saying, I'm going to pay attention to you later. Right now, I'm chilling. So I feel like that is the energy that's going to be brought into this dynamic as well, which is always a fantastic energy to have. So let's go ahead and do some oracle cards and see what else we get here. Perseverance. So I think this is going to be key, that you persevere through waiting, having a little bit of patience, knowing that things move in their own time, but it's always the right time. Clarity. So you're going to have so much more clarity on who you are as a person and how you want to feel in life, what you want life to look like. This is going to be really eye opening. And again, this is just like a huge transformation for you, and it's going to take some time, but you're going to have a much better understanding of who you are as a person. And with the Four of Swords card, this is all about relaxing, putting your thoughts up on the wall, taking that time to rest and let go of anxiety and all of that. That in itself clears up space in your mind to allow more clarity in. And then here we have boundaries. So I think it's going to be really important to kind of stick to your boundaries. If this is for those of you that have had issues with addiction, sticking to those boundaries, those rules for yourself, holding each other accountable and to those boundaries, and knowing that it's coming from a place of empathy and love and not a place of judgment. If that doesn't have to do with you, just making sure you're sticking to your boundaries of like being more empathetic towards yourself, and sticking to your routine. Basically, boundaries kind of reminds me a little bit of like discipline, except boundaries is connected to the North Node, and here this is also connected to the Labradorite stone, which was also on the Devil card. So again, it's like saying no to the things that don't serve you and saying yes to the things that you know would lead you in the right direction. So really just like sticking true to that. Let's go ahead and do some other cards and see what else we get here. If you didn't know this already, labradorite really helps with addictive issues or releasing things that don't serve you. And it's also a great stone for like connecting a little bit more with your intuition. Your hard work is paying off. So don't give up on yourself. Don't lose belief in yourself. Just keep on going. Push through. Persevere. Show the world the real you. So when you let go of all these things and declutter your mind and say no to the things that don't serve you, again, you become more of your authentic self. And that's kind of what I talked about in this card, and some other areas right here. But like having more clarity, being able to be more authentic to yourself, because the sun is connected to authenticity. Like you are finally going to be able to live a life that just feels more correct, that feels more right. A personal issue reaches solution. So I do feel that you're going to make a really big positive progress forward. by communicating your feelings and your thoughts and all of this to this person. And it's gonna really help you kind of let go of these things that maybe you weren't quite sure if you could let go of them before. Nothing is yet set in stone. So don't get too worried about the what ifs. Don't get too worried about if things start to go in a direction that maybe feel like this isn't what I thought it would be. Try to let go of control and let go of all your expectations and recognize that literally nothing is yet set in stone. Like anything could change at any time. And on top of that, we all have free will. So no matter what I say here, I can say, yeah, you should open up to this person and it's going to be a fantastic relationship, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, you know what? I'm not going to open up to this person. Great. Then maybe nothing I said will happen. You know what I mean? Like we can all make our own choices. That is my point. So also recognize that that means you can make choices to help move things in the direction it is that you're wanting to go. Like this could be manifesting, working on that lack mindset, working on, all of that sort of stuff. This stuff takes time. So just have that patience and recognize that everything is happening in the exact time that it should be. Okay, let's get into our last deck of cards here. Here we have intention. So being very intentional about the way that you speak to yourself in this time is going to be really crucial, because I feel like that's going to be really big on how you're um, on the way that you're setting up your subconscious mind to believe like about yourself and about life and everything. So be really intentional about the way that you're speaking to yourself and to others. And then here we have work. So this is going to be some hard work. However, it's going to pay off, because with the working bee, the bee makes honey, and honey is all about like abundance and joy and happiness. Honey is also a beautiful amber color that's kind of connected with the sun. Here we have a beautiful sun here. So this is going to be some hard work, but when you put the right intentions into it and really push through, again, you're just stepping into a much more authentic self, a much more like joyful self as well. Sorry if that was loud. Okay, then we also have disguise. So being able to adapt and kind of go with the flow and adjust to the current present situation. So being adaptable is really helpful, and it allows you to practice letting go of control. Something I always tell myself is to be in control is to control myself. And sometimes it's really annoying to hear that, but it's so true. And then here we have hunt. So this is a reminder to stay really focused and dedicated on your end goals and to not give up on them. And that even when it feels like things are plateauing, that you just got to stay on the hunt and things will be okay. And then here we have play. So play is a good reminder to heal your inner child and just allow yourself to not take life too seriously, because everything would suck if we did that. If we couldn't laugh and joke and bring a little bit of silliness into our everyday life, then things would feel a lot worse than they probably already do. So that's just a reminder to kind of allow yourself to be silly and maybe work on healing that inner child of yours. Let's do one more card. Oh, I guess we'll get two more cards. Okay. Rest and communicate. So rest again matches right up with the Four of Swords, making sure you are getting that rest, because that's equally as important to working really hard. And then communicate. So making sure that the way you are communicating again with yourself and with others, with this other person in particular, is very clear and coming from a place of empathy and authenticity and honesty. That's another big one. So that is your reading group number 4. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say down in the comments below. Thank you so much for the support, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.